Next year, we'll have boys doing that. I'm excited to see that. Hey, of course, there will be in the summer show. At this point, yeah, I'll go. We'll make our. No, hey, we should actually serious. When you guys have the now that actually. Or you can just stay at home and watch it. Yeah, we'll see. See you guys. Good luck. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Toby Youngs. I'm the building principal, and I'm with everyone here this evening. It's great to see our former students back and to see that they're having a successful time this year and had a successful first semester in the Howard University they attended. So I was asked to kind of lead opening remarks for this special event today. And I had to think about how do we recognize such a this evening? And I got thinking, this truly is the first time in the district's 91-year history that we have an event of this nature. Before we even broke ground on a recording studio several years ago, there were many conversations that occurred with the district administrative team and teachers about the recording studio and what do we want from the recording studio? What's it going to bring to the district? What are we going to expect out of it for the students? And really, what's the vision that we see if we build the place such as a recording studio, expanding our music program? And it really came down to discussions that we had across the table. And, talking to Mr. Beatty, one of the comments he made is, we want to build something where we create really one-hit wonders, where we have students that produce music that get on Spotify or Apple Music. At that time, it sounded like a big lift to have students produce music that's going to be on a platform that can reach millions and millions of people across the world. Well, we're there. So, in conversations, and it's not even just a one-hit wonder, we have multiple bands who have now produced, crafted, we had other members work to take that music and make it into something that is now being placed on Apple Music and Spotify, which is pretty amazing accomplishment. So here we are several years later, celebrating that music that's going to be released. So, the mission of our district is to ensure students are future ready by providing them with empowering educational experiences. Our music program does it. We empower students and provide them with empowering educational experiences. Our music program has been recognized as by NAM as best communities for music education for several years in a row. We have we've built a program of success, and the program itself has produced musicians, music educators, and music professionals. So we truly have provided those educational experiences from the teachers that you see in this room and the teachers that work with your students day in, day out. And we as a district could not be more proud of that. And lastly, I want to thank Visions Federal Credit Union for their sponsorship. Due to their generosity, we will be ordering plaques for each of the bands that are releasing their song this evening to memorialize this momentous occasion. Those plaques are going to be hung in our music suite and will remain there for the history of this building and the history of this district to recognize the work that they've put in. And hopefully we can add many more plaques to that wall moving forward. Visions Better Credit Union has done that for us, so we want to thank your partnership as they continue to work with our district to support our programs and our students. So, enough of me talking. Let's get to what you really came part of this. So, we want to recognize those students for their greatness that they have set forth now, and those students who have paved the way for the work that our students are doing. So our future bands and students are going to continue to strive for greatness because of the work that you have put into students. So we appreciate that. And without further ado, I will now turn the floor over to Mr. Morano and our music program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Youngs, and thank all of you for being here tonight on this momentous occasion. It is one of the highlights of my career to get to share this with all of you tonight and to get to have a chance to work with these bands and share this awesome experience that we had together, writing, recording, and producing our own original music. Peppered in between, we are going to feature some of our modern bands from this year. This first band is Route 17 Bigfoot, and you may have seen this Bigfoot on Route 17.
Hi, all. We're Route 17 Bigfoot. You can find our mascot Okay, so I'll, while we're all instrument switching around here, I'll introduce everyone. We got Toby Wells, Sr. on guitar and vocals. Yeah. Tom Donahue over there on guitar. Tina, oh, he's a senior. Tina Sanguidoce, a senior on the drums back there. Molly Ferry on the drums. She's a sophomore. Honorary member Mr. Morano on the keys. I don't know where he went though. Oh, there he is. We got Angie Beadle Jr. On the bass and vocals, right? Thank you. And I'm Ash. I'm a senior. Our last song is All I Wanted by Paramore. You all ready?
Or you can. I'm just gonna do real quick. I mean, yeah, you have a 200. Just real quick.
All right, at this time, I would like to welcome up Moonstones, a band that has music on Spotify as we speak. Give it up for Moonstones. So, for those of you who don't know, these students have been part of what is called Modern Band. And this class is essentially where students are put into a rock band. And typically in the past, we've sort of, put on a show. We've done live music. But one of the great challenges is we've always not been able to share a lot of that due to copyright law. So last year was the first year we actually did a songwriting unit after the chord show. And we're going to kind of tell you a little bit about it. So before we do that, I was thinking we could have band members introduce your name, what you're doing now, and your role in the band last year. Why don't we start with you, Nate?
I'm Nathan McKaiser. I go to SUNY Broome. I was an ex-music major, but now I'm into like liberal arts, history, philosophy major. And my role in the band was the pianist.
My name is Jameson McNamee. I go to Drexel University and I study music industry there. I was the singer in this band. I think that's, yeah.
Yep.
I'm Aubrey Dixon. I'm still a senior here, and I was the guitarist.
My name's Sam. I'm also a senior here, and I was the bass player.
Yep. And Aubrey also vocals too.
Oh yeah, I did that a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to ask some questions to you all as a group. I'm Mrs. Noyd. I'm the career counselor here. It's a special night. I'm so happy to be a part of it with you all. So what would you say was your story behind your song and your inspiration?
Jameson, you want to take that one?
Sure. So as you can tell, most of us are older or seniors in high school now. So last year we were all seniors and juniors, and we were all starting to take that next step in our life, whether that was going to college or whether that was going to pursue senior year and figure out what you wanted to do with your life. So we kind of based our song about moving on and like starting to face challenges and stuff. So we wanted to write about the transitions in life, and the song represents us being excited for the future, but also being a little bit sad about what we're leaving behind.
Yeah. I was going to say, one of the first things I think we had was the name of the song. So sort of when we talked about this as a concept, both being excited for it and being a little bit nervous about leaving what you left behind, one thing that kept coming back up was the term bittersweet. And I think that was, I don't even know if we really chose that as a song name before you went and wrote the chorus for it. And by the time Aubrey, as we'll talk about, wrote the chorus, it was so clear that that was going to be the name of the song. And that actually ended up kind of taking on a theme of its own throughout the song. So yeah.
Can you talk us through that creative process? It seems like Aubrey wrote the chorus, and is that kind of what kicked it off? Or
Yeah, why don't you talk about
So I had some chords that I've already like played around with before, and then I brought them to like one of our sessions, and then Aubrey brought another one of our ideas for the chorus that she already wrote, and we kind of had to like figure a way to like combine them into one.
Yeah, Nate has a lot of jazz influence. So when you listen to the song right off the bat, you'll hear very interesting chord structure and just an interesting chord progression. And he came in with that, and I believe what we did was recorded it, and Jameson took the song home, started listening to it, came up with a melody. We started to write some lyrics, and then you want to talk a little bit about the chorus and also tilt that mic down towards your face.
Yeah, so we kind of came up with this idea, sort of to talk about the duality, bitter versus sweet. And I think Mr. Morano said we were going home for a weekend, and he was like, come back on Monday with some ideas. And I can't take anything lightly. So I came back. The way that I write songs is I just tune my guitar until it sounds cool, and then I play the notes that sound cool. So I came with this really weird tuning. So a guitar is usually in the tuning E, A, D, G, C, E, D, B.
She doesn't even know the standard.
I don't even know the
tuning.
standard tuning because I never played it. E, A, D.
Eddie, A, Dynamite, goodbye, Eddie.
I thought it was Earl. I always said Earl. Goodbye.
Earl works too. If you have
Earl, A, Dynamite, goodbye, Earl. Yeah, I've been doing that since seventh grade.
And what was the tuning?
F, A, C, G, C, E. So, like, no notes that are the same.
Yeah, which was a challenge. So Nate came with a verse idea, Aubrey had the chorus, and marrying those two things initially it seemed like that might be impossible.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about how we kind of worked that out?
Yeah, so it was kind of like trying to marry Bob Dylan and Taylor Swift. And at first it seemed like it was impossible because this chorus sounded so different than even the verse chords, and then the verse lyrics, the verse was so fast, the chorus was slower. But then I remember very vividly, Jameson came in with a couple lyrics for a pre-chorus, and Nate was at the piano, and we started playing it. He was playing the verse, and then we were like, how are we going to marry this? So then he started playing a little bit of what we thought was kind of going to roughly be the pre-chorus, and then he played this one chord that led into the chorus, and we were like, that's it. We did it.
I don't remember what it is.
I don't
It's
remember.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like 7 months.
Yeah.
And it just married so well.
Yeah, and it was sort of the thing that tied the whole song together. And I think too we had to change the key.
Yeah, we transposed it to like B to like A
Yeah.
major. Yeah.
So it was really interesting because we're taking all these different parts and making them work together. But it was so fun. I mean, we had such a great time doing it. And then we had the bridge idea, which came later. So initially we had 2 verses and 2 choruses, and then we got to the bridge section. And then you came in with a piano part, which of course was in a different key. So, no, it was really cool. So we actually have a key change in the middle of this song. And you want to talk a little bit more about maybe like how the bridge kind of plays on that bitter and sweet theme?
Oh, so for the bridge, we had lyrics, but they were very focused on the bitter side. And we felt like that was kind of the whole song, was trying to portray the duality between bitter and sweet. So we were like, we have 2 vocalists. Why don't we do sort of a conflicting thing where we sing one lyric and then we sing the same melody but different words so that we could kind of portray the sweet side at the same time. But how it had worked is you were kind of singing the sweet part of the song and I was singing the bitter song, the bitter part of the song. So we flipped it. So in the bridge, if you pay really close attention, which nobody does because nobody is ever going to realize the little things that we put in there, I'm actually singing the sweet lyrics and Jameson is singing the bitter lyrics.
It was interesting, the structure of the song, how like I came in with the verse singing about like how sweet it was to be moving on and how awesome stuff like that would be. And then the chorus came in and Aubrey would sing about like the bitterness of it and how it's sad to move on and stuff. But then we switch it up in the bridge, and that's like the really interesting part about it.
Yeah. And I love that lyric at the end of the bridge. Do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so one of the lyrics at the end of our bridge is that I sing is why change what isn't broken. And so like if you think about that, that's more of like a bitter sounding lyric about why changing what isn't broken, obviously. And then Aubrey sings the book is closed and the door is opened, which is more sweet, and it like really contrasts with the opposing lyric.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else with it. Sam, one of the things I know you employed a lot was a lot of driving rhythms, and then one of the things that's really prevalent you're playing is the octaves. So that was something. Anything you want to add about that bass part?
I would just have to say that like as a bass player, I don't really play the chord progressions. I can't come up with anything, so I left that to Aubrey and Nate. So they handed me the chords, and I just played the root notes of that. So I had a lot of freedom on coming up with rhythms, and especially in the bridge, that was left to me.
And I think the bass part's so important because there's so much other context going on that you're like the one thing that kind of holds everything together. So that's one of the things I love about that contribution to the song. And then one funny story I thought of is every time I tried to play this song live, Nate would change the rhythm for the piano part. So we would spend
it for me.
Yeah, okay. So we would spend the first 5 minutes of any gig being like dun 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 dun. No, that's not it. And then we'd have to keep going until we figured it out. But yeah, it was awesome every time we played it live. So then we finally had the final product. We recorded it, sent it out to be mastered, and we got it back a few times. I know we had some things we changed in the mastering process, but the final product is very close to the original recording. So something I'm extremely proud of. I'm extremely proud of these guys, and it was so much fun. I can't tell you. It was like the highlight of my career, not just as a teacher, but as someone who considers himself an artist and someone who really values thought in music and doing things with intention. And obviously, as you can tell, these guys totally met that standard. So it was such an awesome experience for me. That was our process for writing the song.
So musically, what part are you collectively most proud of? A lot of collaboration.
Personally, I thought the way that we actually so it wasn't just a name. Bittersweet was more than just a name in the song. It was like everything we did, we thought about, how is this representative of the topic that we're saying? And I think the voices representing the duality of excitement and fear is such an awesome detail. That personally was the thing I was most proud of. Do you guys have any other ones that really stood out to you?
Besides like that, obviously, I think I really like the bridge, just like the structure of it, and specifically like the melody of it. Most of the song was very like intense and like not like intense, but like fast paced and like upbeat kind of, and the bridge really drawed it back and became more relaxed and stuff.
Yeah, and it's
really
interesting the way we get out of that key. We just like force ourselves into the pre-chorus.
Yeah.
Like there's just what isn't broken, boom, boom. We're back in what A or whatever it was. But yeah, anything else?
I was really proud of the way that we were able to collaborate. I mean, we came in at the beginning of the year, and I don't think any of us knew each other at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever seen Nate before. But by the end, we were able to create this song, and really every part is our personality. I mean, Jameson's words were just so Jameson.
Yeah.
And Nate's chords were reflective of every song he had brought to the table that year. And me with my weird guitar tuning.
Yeah.
Sam with her bass line that she just has the most random melody, or the most random timings. But we were able to marry it into a song, and I was really proud of that. We're such different people, but we were able to create this one cohesive thing. It's like our little baby.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's such a good point. Is the song is representative of all of you guys. It's like there's a piece of
It's
you
like
in it,
our
and I can
little
hear it when I
moonstones.
listen to it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So.
I have one last question. How did Windsor impact your musical journey?
That's a good
I
question.
can't answer that. So
I feel like Windsor music program did a lot for me. Coming into the high school, like doing all the music activities and stuff, like it really like taught me like and showed me like what my passion was, and I'm pursuing that in college. Like I'm in different music clubs in college. I'm in an a cappella group in college, which is really reflective of what I did here and what Windsor did for me. So I just really thought that Windsor's program was really great, and it really helped me be who I am.
For me, it literally just gave me a lot of opportunities to do what I want and like explore if I want to do music in the future. And like, even though I'm not a music major anymore, I'm not going to stop like playing music, playing piano. So yeah, it's done a lot for me.
I'm still here. But I feel like it's always given me opportunities to express myself in ways that I never would have. I remember just picking up the guitar for the first time, kind of like the end of 6th grade. And by 7th grade, Mr. Verano was, letting me play the guitar along in all the chorus concerts. And that was the highlight of my life. That made me so happy. Every semester we would have the chorus concert, and I would get to play my guitar, and I would be so proud, and my hands would be shaking, and it was awful. I mean, you couldn't even hear the guitar because they turned it down so much because it was terrible.
you look great though.
It was bad. But then I got here, and I was able to take those skills. I mean, it's really fostered, from when you first are in Miss Krieger's band in 4th grade. They really encourage you every step of the way to start growing, even when you're 9 years old.
For me, I wanted to get a lot more involved in school and activities and things like that. And the music program just provides so many different things: court, modern band, band and just chorus, drama club, a cappella. There's just a wide variety, and it was really helpful to like jump into these and expand what I like to expand.
Yeah. So at this time. And if you haven't checked Spotify or Apple Music, I was like terrified it wasn't going to work. They are live on there. One quick thing, our album art was a photo that we took. Everyone picked a color. They wore it to school. We took that picture in the music suite. There's actually, if you took away all the effects, there's a big guitar hanging in the back of it. But really cool photo of these guys on Spotify or Apple Music. So please make sure you stream that song. And I think without further ado, let's hear it.
Started up with nothing but a dollar to my name. Driving through the city with a smile on my face. Loving every second makes me feel like I'm complete. Serotonin running through my veins cause I'm free. Sugar on the side, not a single cloud in sight. Even when it rains, I love that I can sleep at night. Finally made it to the place that I can call my home. And I found the pot of gold that's over the rainbow. The life that I was meant to live, the future I have found. There's something in the air, euphoric such around. The stars are brighter in the skylines in my view. The vibrant city, midnight life I knew I could pursue. The balls of pieces match to these, no one would disagree. My glasses half away, I'm feeling up with ecstasy. But I can't help from thinking about what we could have had. The memories I am seeing, the visions of our past. When it's bittersweet, this town goes down, it'll take you with it. Sinking in the ground, you'll be sad you didn't leave. Where's that girl? Oh, you just missed her, and it feels so good, but it tastes so bitter. Sweet. Reflections of a reach, as it was I haven't been. Silent village, high walls, rusted buildings, teacher falls, time to leave the sleeping, telling me this is the start. Started fresh new memories, music to my ears. My fate is in my hands, I've dreamed of this for many years. A golden bridge stares me off to destiny. A sunset in the distance, cause I'm where I'm meant to be. But I can't help from thinking how what we could have had. The memories I see, the visions of our past. It's bittersweet. This town goes down, it'll take you with it. Sinking in the ground, you'll be sad you didn't leave. Where's that girl? Oh, you just missed her, and it feels so good, but it tastes so bitter. Feels so sweet. Where's that girl? Oh, you just missed her, and it feels so good, but it tastes so bitter. The closer it gets, the harder it becomes. The thought that I should run my childhood and unread book. The fears I never had, they said the grass will be greener on the other side. The signs of last words spoken. Why change what isn't broken? Can't help from thinking about what we could have. The memories I see, the visions of our past. Oh, it's bittersweet. This town goes down, it'll take you with it. Sinking in the ground, you'll be sad you didn't leave. Where's that girl? Oh, you just missed her, and it feels so good, but it tastes so bitter. Feels so sweet. Where's that girl? Oh, you just missed her, and it feels so good, but it tastes so bittersweet.
Again, honored to have had the chance to be a part of that with these students, both present and former. Next, we're going to take a moment to have some more live music. This is Mr. Zapak's modern band class, Groove Daddy and the Long Shots. Thank you so much, Groove Daddy, and the Long Shots, of course. Next up, I'm going to invite former modern band Mount Flack to come up here and talk about their song, Stuck. Welcome, Mount Flack.
Yo, someone's got to give band name origin.
It's a.
I know. They don't know. I want you to tell them.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, so first, can you each introduce yourself, your name, what you're doing now, college,
He's closer.
major, your role?
My name is Christian. I played lead guitar, and I'm now pursuing a master's degree at Alfred University in business administration.
Nice. I'm Lucy Beatty. I was the singer in Mount Flack, and now I go to Oneonta, where I'm pursuing a bachelor's in fashion design with a concentration in design.
My name is Kira. I was the bassist in the band. I go to SUNY Delhi and study veterinary science.
I'm Christina, and I was the drummer in the band, and I'm a senior here.
I'm Toby. I was the other guitar and other vocals, and I'm still senior here.
Solid. Awesome. So before we get into questions about the song, tell me about the name Mount Flack.
I think Kira should tell it.
Yeah, so Murano thought that we couldn't combine our initials because of how funky they were.
Okay,
But
to be clear, what I said was what happens with a lot of band names is there's a lot of good names, there's also a lot of bad band names. And sometimes a bad way to start is let's take the first letter of all of our names and see if we can spell something. So I said, don't do that.
Well, I went home that night and did it anyway. We actually had two members of our band that aren't here because they went to some other class.
Shout out to the Perettes.
Yep.
Yeah. So they were two of the letters in our name, but then we came up with Mount Flack because it was Morgan, who was our sound recording tech, Toby, Frankie.
Lucy.
Why am I having a hard time spelling? Lucy, Adam, Christian, yeah, double C's, and then Kira versus the K. So
Yeah, but therefore Mount Flack.
So what's your story behind your song and your inspiration?
Want to take that, Lucy?
Oh, I guess. So originally it was gonna be about burnout, but then like Moonstones, we were like, I'm burnout because I'm sad about being a senior and moving on in all of those ways that we, yeah.
Yeah, it changed after a while. We kind of went in with one idea, came out with another. And I think, as we wrote it, there was a lot of interesting elements that kind of, there ended up being a big cosmic element. So a lot of stuff about space. There's a little bit about time travel in there. So a little bit, veered off a little bit from burnout. But I think that we were really, really happy with the final product. Do you want to kind of talk about?
So through that sort of theme that we wanted to go with the cosmic spacey type of vibe, we wanted to show that in the instrumental. So when we were thinking of chords, we were thinking of something super atmospheric, very catchy. And so I started playing some licks, and I landed on this nice major 7th chord, and pretty sure it was the 5th of the scale, and then I went back to the 1 on the resolution, and it sounded really nice. And then, Lucy just went from there. She took the lyrics.
Yeah. Well, I remember you started playing it, and then you started playing.
Yeah, you started playing the drums.
The bass drum. We had that quarter note thump. Boom.
Yeah, so when Christian was playing, we needed something to keep tempo, so I started putting the kick drum on every beat, and we ended up keeping it because we liked the way it pushed the song forward.
Yeah, and that ended up being the way the song started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's one thing we could say about this song process is that it didn't feel really stressed. It felt very lackadaisical. It went along really well. It flowed.
Yeah, this happened, so this happened. With the bass drum, you're oh, it feels like a heartbeat, and it's like, oh, waking up in the morning and
Yeah.
just like all those thoughts that it just kind of progressed like that.
Yeah. So we started out with the instrumental. We developed a chorus idea not long after that. And we had really like a skeleton of the song. And then it came time to start thinking about the lyrics, which I think in this process is one of the most challenging things because it takes a lot of guts to write something original and show it to other people. And that was something we had a lot of conversations about. You know, no idea is a bad idea. But Lucy was really our primary lyricist. So we did a rough recording of what we had thus far. It was just a verse, just the chorus. She came back in with some lyrics, and that was when we started kind of sifting through them. And that was when I think it really changed from Burnout to this theme of like being stuck in time, you know, and not being able to change what's going to happen. So Lucy came in with the lyrics. We started sifting through those. One lyric that seems to really stand out to people, like whenever people say, oh, what's the name of that song? People always call it Sad Time Traveler. Do you want to talk maybe a little bit about Sad Time Traveler lyric?
I guess it's just about like even just the whole song is kind of, you know, time just keeps moving and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's just like I'm a sad time traveler. Like what can I say?
Therefore, we are all time travelers.
Yeah, and it's like so it's just like even the song is just about like it seems like like spacey and stuff because you're talking about gravity and just time continually like going. That's kind of
Yeah. So and the name Stuck, I remember was one of the lyrics you wrote that I just really loved was and I'm stuck in this loop continuously. Time has passed by before I realize it. That whole thing, and that ended up turning into a really cool pre-chorus that we had. And like, I think the bass drives that pre-chorus. Kira has a really awesome driving bass line there that really ties it together. Tina, do you want to talk a little bit about like some of the stuff you added to kind of enhance the song, some of the fills and things that you had?
So originally we had this bridge part that was like 1.5 minutes long. It was absurdly long. So after we had already recorded it and sent it out to be mastered, we listened to it again and we were like, okay, something needs to change. We had already had a couple fills in there, but we decided to cut a little bit of the bridge part and add in a fill to just kind of solidify an idea that we didn't really know we wanted to put in there yet.
Yeah, and that really ties, you know, I think the bridge and the final chorus together. Toby, do you want to talk maybe a little bit about the guitar part that you added to the song?
I added when you listen to it, there's like a little twinkly bit almost in the verses, which is, the notes are on the paper, is not that side of the paper. That's not our paper. C major 7 and a G something. And then it's something in the bridge.
Yes. Toby had like a little beat line in the chorus too.
Yes, I did. It's been too long.
Yeah. Toby also actually, if you listen, is harmony in the chorus. Toby also announced it. You know, Lucy was our lead for this particular song. Toby went over the song as well. And so, yeah, we kind of got through the first two verses, the first two choruses. We got to our bridge. I remember we wrote the bridge lyrics in class, and we like really toiled over what to say. And again, we came back to that like but Jason Sunlight is basically yeah. Yes, exactly. So it was one that came up with together, and that was a really fun experience. You know, just kind of saying what about this, what about that, and collaborating on the lyrics. Even Lucy had given us so many great ideas leading up to that.
I was going there and like, okay, so I have to think, so like, it's not gonna be very funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the hard thing about sharing original work is, you know, you're like, and I think that's, again, as a teacher, one thing I'm most proud of is to do that with each other and trust each other that, you know, we can come up with good ideas in that type of environment. Two things I wanted to ask, just kind of like funny stories of the recording process. Christian is an excellent guitar improviser, and when he improvises, it sounds amazing. You usually. So you'll hear in this, a lot of it is him literally sitting in the studio, coming up with stuff. But what you won't hear are some of the things that we took out. There's a couple hilarious sour notes that, yeah, sounded like that. But it was something that we all got to pick out. And again, you know, it's kind of take the 99% good with that 1% bad. You know, so yeah, look at 2-3%. And then I would say the other thing that stood out to me most when we were thinking about this was it's so insignificant in the song, but it almost tore the band apart. Was the guitar part
Awful guitar effect.
after the second chorus? It really almost tore the band apart. But there was. I was pro.
I was anti.
Yeah.
Listen, there was more antis at the beginning. I think, didn't we just tone it down in the end?
So
But when it was,
was called the chorus effect, and it gives it, which I thought was cool, like almost alien sort of warmliness to it.
far too alien.
It was awesome.
It was like a jump scare.
Yeah, with more warbly and more alien. But so it, you know, we've again, we compromised. You know, we found ways to sort of all be okay with that and quietly resent each other. But that was quiet, so it didn't matter. But that was again one of those cool things, and it's fun to disagree. You know, and it wasn't always easy. It was sort of finding artistic middle ground. So that was our process. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to add from the experiences of playing that. Yeah, and it's chemistry, which actually, it's funny, about that graphics. There's a lyric in the chorus, and it's oh, really? There's not outside. How it's like how am I supposed to focus on chemistry when I don't know what it's supposed to philosophy? Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that.
I always complained about chemistry class. I loved it, but I complained.
That's right. Yeah, Phil the Monkey Silver. All right. Speaking of which, I feel like I would be remiss if we did not recognize the sixth member of our band, Ms. Gilbert. So Ms. Gilbert is on the board tonight. You can thank her for the incredible sound, incredible lights, incredible everything. Really quick round of applause. So, Ms. Gilbert was my co-teacher for this class. She was just influential, just as present in all the songwriting. Her insight, her experience, and know-how, so valuable to our process. And tonight, she's helping us run the tech side of things. I can't not recognize her. She also co-teaches Route 17 Bigfoot. I can't keep that straight. She also co-teaches that band with me, and she's just absolute pleasure with it. So I didn't want to not recognize her contributions to this as well. Yeah.
So, you were 4 members of our band who were in this band last year played my vocals.
2 years ago.
Oh.
We're all old. You graduated high school.
But I think it was, let's see what the best was added in the roster.
Yeah.
Person basically me until we were in this band, sorry. But it took us a while to fit as a band, but I recall there was this moment last year, or 2 years ago,
505.
oh yeah, 505. So,
this code show, like, we all messed it up a lot because like we did this entire verse, but we all like just communicated with eye contact because we were so close in the band and we just made it work and like y'all like we did code, we messed it up.
It's like Christian was saying, you guys adapted, and that was like, that was moment. I'm just, yeah, this is something.
That Tom really put together an activity and talk to you about the artwork and the album.
So that came
It's
together
still
really
Tina's
quickly.
homepage.
Oh, yeah.
You took a picture, if you, we don't have the tabs obviously, but if you look up on Spotify or wherever you stream now, you will be able to see the album artwork. So it's a picture of them right underneath that exit sign over there. And we kind of, one mod just said, what are we gonna do with this artwork? So it's Tina's phone. You can tell that's open piano.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is, so if you look, you know, hold your phone up. So Tina actually carried a lot of those things in the album artwork. So two of them were tickets from our court shows last year, which obviously Mount Black played in. One of them is a picture of all of you guys together at prom. And it's in Tina's phone, but the way it looks naturally, we did well. So what was really cool is Lucy's just a complete artist, and she's an incredible graphic designer. So she actually cut out those images, and we took a picture of Tina's phone with nothing in it, and then cropped in those photos just so the way we liked it. So it was like another 2 degrees that way, and it's really cool representation. I think of like the shows that we did that year. The Titans you guys had as a band in that prom photo, and then the sticker. You got the sticker on it too, which is 23. And that was all edited post picture. Originally, it was just a blank phone case. And it's held like this, all the way behind it, sort of out of focus. And one of the things I was most excited about for the music to come out was, you know, I love when I'm just looking on Spotify to see the artwork along with the music. And the fact that that also came from the band, it just makes me so proud. It's just such a complete work of art. And as you can tell, these guys, as well as Boom Cones, didn't just write a song to write a song. It was something that we put a lot of thought into. We wanted to make sure it was a complete artistic work, something that we could be proud of. Yeah, really, really good.
So musically, what part are you most collaborative about?
I would probably say that.
I'm most proud of how this song has definitely a piece of each of us in it. You guys probably won't realize, but we definitely all do. And it's very, very, it's like we all came together as one. And this is our masterpiece.
Yeah, I think we had a really good mesh, like one of the best meshes. That mesh.
What I'm hearing is not a lot of chemistry. So how would you say winter and heat? How would you say winter impacts you?
Well, how do you think during start? She's saying what's else? He also is used on a lot of the senior older she presented not only a time the audition national audience. So I tried that out and audition was pretty challenging. Miss G went through a really good point online system. Guys and wrestling. I really making it. So excited. Christian was one guitar player out of, I believe, it was like 12 states in the U.S. There are a few guitar players, but he was one. I think there were 15 years. Yeah, that was just an amazing experience. It really sharpened my skills from these guys. Oh yeah, I'm still playing college too. There's like this one class I'm taking, I have just like 5 year. Yeah, the brother goes into the house as well. Not the same rush, not the same rush. One of these guys, inviting me in concrete. So,
I would say like just even putting on a show that is so much of it is like into it, really the qualities that is something that don't get in traditional classes that is like not as again it's such a great experience that I'm using the skills that I learned like in college just like for example like the screen flashing shows. I know that it's massive that it takes like putting like effort and then like how the boxes show like everything you see. And you want to see what you're doing to like the bond and like not really use like the vacuum of your group. I really did for this concert. I'm so grateful for all of that. It's really always developing the
you're actually, you're doing some.
Oh yes, and I'm in October.
When she made her.
I would say, the music program here, I was going to do one of these. I started before, when I was in Colorado. Now I would say, like, this modern academy of the teacher. I think it's more about like, but actually, I don't think it's my freshman year. And then I graduated with mom and sports. And I would have done that around mom. And so I was just around.
I kind of joined modern band on a whim because I was bored of school. Modern band definitely gave me like a class to look forward to during the day, especially since you have like your math classes, stuff like that. But we get to come in and play whatever instruments we want. Like when I came into modern band, I didn't know what I was going to be playing. And Morono suggested drums.
Tina didn't play drums before we started modern band. I looked around at the class, I was like, Tina, do you want to play drums? She said, sure. And then she learned it in like a week. And we were fine. But it was one of our jokes the whole year was Stephen's learned drums. So,
Yeah, rumor has it she still only learned electric.
yeah.
It's kind of funny though because it also last year learning the drums in more or less 2 weeks led into this year. I learned the bass in like a week. So yeah, that's it.
I've done chorus for like forever, But instrument-wise, I never had like an instrument that I stuck to until sophomore year. After the first court show, our guitar player had quit, so Zapak like threw a guitar at me, and then was like, learn this. And then Christian joined, so then it didn't even matter, and we had two. But
Don't forget your mandolin, Dave.
don't bring up the mandolin. That was crazy. I did play mandolin at a court show, but now I play guitar, so it's all better.
Last question. So any advice you give anyone? You're hungry, you're good.
I would say probably just don't wait till junior year to join Modern Band because it's a great experience, and I wish I had done it sooner.
Be peopleable. I feel like when we all first got in the band, we didn't speak to each other for like 3 months, and then we started talking to each other, sort of, kind of. Yes.
All right. With that, this is Stuck by Mount Flat.
Since my feet off the ground, gravity is calling me to never lie. And I'm so this ridiculous time has passed by before I even realized why. And I can stand up, gravity's letting my strategy really is not clear, but it's going faster than I am. Keep on moving. There's no sympathy for God. There's no antidote for hatred. I'm chasing the sun. This spaceship is leaving. You won't find me there. I'm searching for me. I'm chasing the sun. This spaceship is leaving. You won't find me there. I'm searching for me. I'm chasing the sun. This spaceship is leaving. You won't find me. I'm searching for me. Yes, I did. I think there's so much joy and I live here. Driving for me. Driving lights but my friends it's like all time just passing by. Trying on my eyes, traveling fast through time.
Thank you again so much, everyone. Thank you guys for sharing your talents with me. I have a couple of thank yous before we get out of here. Visions Federal Credit Union for sponsoring this event. Thank you so much. Again, Chris Gilbert for running sound, programming lights, and helping make this event stream possible. Jason Weinstein, our IT department, for helping us stream this to those who cannot be here tonight. Toby Young, Skelly Warwick, our building administration. School board for always supporting our program. I have to give a special thank you to Scott Beatty, who fights for our program and encourages us to do great stuff like this. It's just been a huge part of this happening tonight. Can't thank him enough. Dr. Andrews, thank you for being here tonight. It's so great to have this much support for our program, not only from our community, but from our administrators and also my fellow colleagues that are here tonight. And finally, just again, thank you guys for sharing this with me. It was one of the true highlights of my career. So, love you guys. All right, next up we have, of course, they're crying. Rain Date. This is my Mod 7 modern band. They're going to close the show, and then we're going to go eat some cake. Thank you all so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.